Familiar, you're familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Hello students, so welcome back to the video part number 6. Okay, in the video part number 5, I think we have discussed the concept called body falling under gravity through a fluid at low speeds, correct? So in that we have derived the expression for velocity and the relation between velocity and the terminal velocity also. Okay, and I think you know already what is terminal velocity. So can you define now? So please go through this definition of terminal velocity again. Say for any body falling under gravity through a fluid, okay, will reach certain velocity. In between it has to reach certain maximum velocity, that is called terminal velocity, right? So that is possible only when the two forces are acting on the body, okay, when the two forces are balanced each other. Particularly, it is always experiencing the two forces. What are the two forces? The gravitational force and the other one is the drag force, correct? Drag force in the opposite direction. So when these two forces are balancing the body so that it is moving with the constant velocity without acceleration. Okay, that particular constant and maximum velocity we call it as terminal velocity. So we can define the terminal velocity as the final constant velocity attained by a body falling under gravity, okay, in a viscous liquid or in general fluid, okay, is known as the terminal velocity. Okay, now let us consider the second type, that is how the body is experiencing the velocity and the force, etc., if it is falling in the fluid with high speed. Okay, that is second part. As I told, the air drag at the high speed now. Okay, so for this we can consider the examples like skydiver or moving cars, etc. Okay, an easy example to understand is skydiver for you. So whenever a skydiver falls from or jumps from an aeroplane, so then he will take the help of the parachute, I said, isn't it? You take the help of parachute to reach the ground safely. But before that, how the forces are acting on the skydiver. So when he just jumps, okay, it is accelerated, moving with the increasing velocity in the air. Okay, somewhere in the middle, he is reaching the stage called terminal velocity. So when he reaches this terminal velocity, then only he has the technique to open the parachute. Okay, then in that case the drag force increases compared to the gravitational force. The drag force increases and then he is reducing its terminal velocity. Okay, so with the lowest possible terminal velocity, the skydiver is reaching the ground. Okay, so now in that example, how to calculate the velocity experienced by the body in general. Okay, so the magnitude, as I told already, the magnitude of the resistive force on the objects, on any object in general, so moving at high speeds particularly, okay, through air is given by Fd is equal to d into v square. See, you have to remember here, if the body is moving in the low speed, okay, as I told in the previous case, a small metal ball moving through a viscous liquid, okay, that is with the low speed actually. So now we are considering the high speed. Skydiver is moving with high speed, you know, in such cases. So what is the magnitude of the resistive force acting on the body against to the gravitational force? So that is given by now Fd is equal to d into v square. So earlier we considered as just k into v. Okay, in case of low speeds, drag force is directly proportional to velocity. Now in this case it is Fd, drag force is directly proportional to square of the velocity. Okay, that difference you have to remember here. Of course, what is this coefficient of v square? D. So d is the constant. Okay, it depends upon the shape, size, and the density of the medium. Okay, so because in case of high speed, size matters, shape matters, and through which medium it is moving, that also matters here. So that you can substitute the value of d as now half c rho a. Okay, so Fd is equal to half into c into rho into a into this v square here, of course, square of the velocity. So we can consider the parameters such as C. C is actually drag coefficient. So depending upon the size and shape, okay, depends on the bodies, okay, it can take the range of the values 0.4 to 1.0. That is called actually drag coefficient. And rho is actually the air density, okay, and A is the effective cross-sectional area of the body. Okay, when the body is moving in a particular direction, let us say direction of velocity. So perpendicular to the direction of velocity, you have to consider the average cross-sectional area of the body. So it is effective cross-sectional area of the body perpendicular to velocity of motion or velocity direction. Okay, so V is the velocity of the body. Okay, now by using this drag force, let us consider the total net force acting on the body. So for a body of mass m in general released from certain height, okay, if you release the body from certain height like this, okay, so what are the forces experienced by the body? See, the downward force of the gravity Fg, okay, first of all you have to consider the natural force acting on the body, that is Fg bar is equal to m into g bar, okay, where g is the acceleration due to gravity. And then the upward force, what is that upward force is called? We can call it as resistive force or drag force, okay. So Fd is equal to d into v square. So the same equation from 1. Hence the magnitude of the net force is given by now sigma F is equal to the total net force acting on the body for its motion is given by Fg, because the body is moving due to the gravitational force first. So we have to consider that force first, Fg. And then it is opposite by Fd in the opposite direction. So you have to put negative sign here, minus Fd. Okay. So Fg is equal to mg and Fd is equal to, so from this equation 1 of C rho A V square. Clear? So let it be equation 2. Now according to Newton's second law, so you can write the total force acting on the body, so that due to that total net force the body is under motion. So then what is the equation for the force? So the total force acting on the body for its motion is given by m into A, isn't it, according to Newton's second law. Then, so take that equation 2. So this equation is nothing but actually the net force by Fg and Fd. So that must be equal to ma, isn't it? So therefore from equation 2, ma is equal to mg minus half C rho A V square from equation 2. Okay. So by simplifying this, how do you simplify it? Just dividing by m on both sides, you will get A is equal to, so m cancels, here m cancels, okay, here you have to divide by m, that's it. So A is equal to g minus C rho A by 2m into V square, okay, dividing by m on both sides, you will get the equation for acceleration of a moving body. Okay, that means this equation 4 gives the acceleration for a moving body in a resistive medium with high speed. Okay, so now that is related to velocity, of course, here. So directly proportional to V square we can say, and all other factors also matters here. Then suppose if I consider A is equal to 0, then what you will understand? So in between the acceleration remains 0. So what about the velocity? So velocity is said to be constant, isn't it? Acceleration is equal to 0 means velocity is equal to constant, and it is called terminal velocity also, correct? So therefore V is equal to Vt, terminal velocity. Now substitute these two conditions in the above equation 4. Okay, so mg is equal to mg, so from equation 3, say ma actually, so A equal to 0, you know, so this goes 0, then mg, you take minus of this term on the other side, so mg is equal to half C rho A Vt square. So we can substitute as now Vt, terminal velocity Vt square. Okay, so by simplifying this above equation, so Vt square is equal to, so by cross multiplication 2mg divided by C rho A, isn't it? So by taking square root on both sides, you will get the equation for Vt as square root of 2mg by C rho A. So let it be equation 5. So that means equation 5 is the expression for terminal velocity for a body moving with high speed. Clear? Okay. So I will see you in the next class with some numerical problems if possible on this first chapter, that is motion. Okay. So see you in the next video then. Okay.